Hi, I'm Joel Schrank, voiceover talent audio expert and entrepreneur, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today: how to build your business. Simplifying concepts that really help you in life, relationships, and business. This is the Speaking Easy podcast. So building a business is kind of like paying off your mortgage. I've really been into the idea of paying off my mortgage early lately because I just love to have the financial freedom. And when you look that up on YouTube, I'm sure you'll find all sorts of videos that are tricks to pay off your mortgage early, do this to pay off your mortgage early. In reality, what I found is that the only way that you can actually pay off your mortgage early is by doing the same thing month over month over month, which is pay more towards it. Pay a few $100 more. Just keep paying it off until it's done. And it seems boring, and it is boring because it's really just the same thing every month. Well, that's kind of what growing a business is like. You might look it up on YouTube and find lots of tips and tricks on how to grow your business fast, and some of them actually might be legitimate, but in reality, the best and most sure way to grow your business is by doing the same thing day over day, month over month, year over year, until you've grown your client base so that you have a growing and thriving business. So how do you do that? Well, there are lots of tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. Some things that I've been taught from coaches and other consultants that I've worked with that have really worked well for me. Things that at the time were just mind-boggling and just golden for me that are really quite simple. And so I'd like to just share some of those ideas with you. Maybe they'll work for you, maybe they won't, but I'll throw them out there because honestly, they were life changers for me when it came to growing my business. So to start out, what are those things you need to do day over day, month over month, year over year to grow your business? Well, in short, especially in the voiceover realm and any sort of business-to-business sort of corporation, you just have to make a lot of contacts. That means cold calling. That means cold emailing. That really means finding the right person to talk to at a business and reaching out to them and saying, hey, if you ever need my services, I'm here. Especially for voiceover, that's how I market myself. I'll reach out to businesses. If I'm doing it over email or over phone, I'll just tell them, I'm a voiceover talent. I know you may not need me right now, but if you ever need a male voiceover talent in the future, I hope you'll look me up. And lots of them do. Most of them don't. In reality, most of the cold calls that I make or the emails that I send go unanswered. And I never hear from the people. I'll make maybe 1,000 of them, and I'll hear from maybe 100 people. And of those 100 people, maybe 10 of them will actually give me a job. That's what I've heard it described as sort of the marketing funnel. You put a lot in the top of it, and you really have a very little that comes out. But if you want to increase the amount that comes out, of course, you just have to put more in the top. So how can you maximize the amount that you're putting in? Well, one of them is through just doing your research and doing it as quickly as possible and finding a system that works for you. So I'm going to tell you the system that works for me. It's been working quite well for me to grow my database of clients and contacts that I make with production companies that I predominantly work with and with other businesses. So I use a pretty simple search tool. It's called Google. And I'll look up video production companies. I usually go by state or by major city, and I'll just start at one end of the country and I'll go to the other end because my business is the type of business that I can work with anybody, really. I can work with anybody worldwide because I do my work remotely predominantly. I don't have to go anywhere. I record in my home studio almost 90%, 99% of the time. I'm doing the job in my home studio. And so anybody literally worldwide can send me a script and I can record it for them, and I can send it back to them. Now, in reality, most of the people that I work with are in the United States. I have a few people that I work with internationally, but most of the people I work with are in the U.S. because predominantly that's where you're going to find people wanting a United States accent, which is what I have. And so, like I said, I start from one end of the country, I work my way over to the other end, and I'm literally just looking up video production companies in Alabama, video production companies in Seattle, Washington, and Google gives you a big list of businesses, and that list of businesses usually gives you their website. And so I download that information. I'll usually copy and paste it onto an Excel spreadsheet, and I'll just go through each website and I'll find the contact information for the person that I want. Now, that brings you to the next step and one of those little business gold items that I found, especially if you're trying to do things quickly. Now, in my experience, cold calling can really be one of the better ways to reach out to people. You're instantly making a connection with them. But emailing can sometimes be a little bit quicker because you can do it kind of en masse. You can send a whole bunch of stuff all at the same time, and you can do it a little bit more quickly than just calling and oftentimes not even getting to anybody. A lot of times you're just getting an answering machine. So in order to find email addresses and even just the right person that you want to talk to at a company, I thought there must be a way to scour a website and find people affiliated with that company. And there is. The internet service I found is called Hunter.io. It basically searches the entire website for all email addresses and people affiliated with that company, and it verifies the email address to make sure that it's actually one that's valid. And for me, it's been invaluable. I can find the people that I need to talk to. It actually will give you, to the best of its knowledge, the title of the people that work for a particular company as best that it can find. It can't find it on all websites, but it can find it on a lot of them. And it will give you their email address. And then oftentimes you can also just find a phone number on the website. If you want a cold call, at least you have a name that you can talk to. Say, hey, can I speak to so-and-so, the creative director? And if you just want to send them an email, which oftentimes, like I said, can be quicker. Lots of people are doing things over email these days. It goes to their phone. It's just easy for them to look at. If you're really just trying to make that quick contact, it'll give you their actual personal email address for that company. And so you can send them a personalized direct email. And so rather than trying to email like the info at such and such website or contact at such and such website, you can actually email directly the person that you want to talk to. And that's a really valuable thing because making that personal connection is one of the best ways to grow your business, really making it personal, getting people to know you and getting to know them personally. Now, Hunter.io does charge a fee if you want to use it extensively. Their free version actually does give you up to 25 email finds per month, and up to 30 email verifications if you're just trying to verify that an email address is actually valid per month, and that renews on a monthly basis for free. But if you actually want to use it extensively, 100, 200, however many verifications or email kind of finding services that you want to find to actually use the service as extensively as you can, there obviously is a fee that goes, and you can pay that month to month, or they give you a discount if you pay it over the year. I think it's maybe like $300 or $400 for the whole year. Totally worth it if you wanted to go that route. Honestly, a lot of the times I find that the free version can really be a good starting point if you're just getting into things and you're just starting to look for some information, and you're kind of at the beginning point of your business. But obviously, if you're really trying to grow your business and make those personal contacts, the paid version can really help you out a lot. All right, so let's say now you've built up your database. You've got a database of clients or potential clients, people that you potentially might work with, people who you've corresponded with, people who have responded to you, people who you've actually had some conversations with and built relationships with. You've got them all in a nice database, whatever database it is you're using. Just as a note, I actually just use Microsoft Outlook, the contacts section of that. It actually does it quite well for what I need it to do. I don't need some sort of extensive CRM to manage all of my contacts. It's really pretty easy for me as far as actually the contacts that I have. So I just do it through Outlook. But you might be using something else. But every now and then it's good to make a contact with them, because you email a person once or you call a person once to kind of touch base, but how do you really build that relationship? Well, again, this is kind of the day over day, month over month sort of thing where you're kind of making contacts back again with people who you've already gotten in touch with, kind of checking in and just seeing, hey, how are things going? Trying to keep yourself in front of them. And a part of doing that is usually sort of email campaigns. A lot of people use just quarterly or every now and then, every so often, when there's a holiday, you'll send an email out to people to say, hey, here's what's going on. I hope that you're doing good. Happy holidays. Or if you've made a big update or a big change to your website, or you've got some new product or some new service that you're offering and you want to let everybody know, hey, everybody, here's what I'm doing now. And so you want to send a whole bunch of people an email. So you could subscribe to one of those email services. There's like MailChimp and all of those, and they'll help you create email campaigns. Personally, what I found works well for me, and this was something that was suggested to me by a previous voiceover coach that I had, is something called Mappy Labs. It's a plugin for Outlook that you can purchase. Again, it does cost some money. It's really not too expensive, though. And you can get all of these plugins, and one of them is called Send Personally. And what that does is it allows you to create an email, and I just have some templates, or if I'm sending an email campaign, I'll create a template or maybe a nice HTML template if you're using Outlook or whatever email server. You have to use Outlook for Mappy Labs. And you can create this nice email template or whatever it is you want. And you can plug in all of the different contacts that you have. You just create one big email with them. And if you hit send personally, it'll send it to each one of those contacts as if it was sent just to them. Instead of like sending it and it's like this mass email that everybody gets and they can all see, oh, you sent this to everybody. It'll send it to just that person. And it's got these little fill-ins that you can put so that it inserts their name. So it's actually really personalized. It'll say, hi, Joel, I hope things are going well. Or hi, Darren, I hope things are going well, depending upon who it is. But it looks like it's sent to just that one person only because this plugin actually does just send it to that each individual person on that list. So I'd highly recommend that. I use it for all sorts of different things. There's lots of different functionalities actually you can use with these Mappy Labs plugins. And again, they're not too expensive. I'm not being paid to promote these guys. I just think that it's a really good product and I use it extensively. It's one of those things that when I was told about it, I was like, wow, this fits my workflow so perfectly. It was gold to me. And nobody had told me about it before. So I thought I'd let you know about it too. And it's one of the great ways that you can keep in touch with people. I usually keep in touch with people about quarterly or around major holidays. I'll send people some updates quarterly just to say, hey, here's what I've been doing. Here's a new podcast I've been working on. Here's a new YouTube series that I've been working on you can check out. And, again, kind of like the marketing funnel, not everybody's going to check your stuff out. A lot of times they're just going to hit delete. And I always have a little unsubscribe feature at the bottom where they can just click a button and it sends me an email saying, please unsubscribe. And I get a few people every now and then that, of course, do that because, hey, if they don't want to get my emails, that's totally fine. I don't feel bad about it. They just don't want to be bombarded by emails very often. But honestly, there's plenty of people, and more people than not, that kind of like getting those little updates. They like to see, oh, hey, that's right, Joel, he's my voiceover talent guy. I want to go to him when I need a voiceover. They may not need it right then, but keeping yourself at front of mind when they do need it, you're the person they're going to. So that's number 2 as far as actually the marketing campaign and strategies that I use. First is finding people. Second is staying in touch with people via email campaigns. And then the third is keeping in touch with people over social media. So I always try and go and find people that I have made contact with on LinkedIn, sometimes Facebook if you can, but honestly, LinkedIn is the number one thing that I use when I'm trying to keep in touch with people. And then I post regularly. Again, to me, if I had to choose one social media thing for my business, it'd be LinkedIn. But I try and stay active on all of them. All of them that I that I can be anyway. So I predominantly use LinkedIn, Facebook, and then Instagram because it's connected to Facebook. And people just like to see what's going on in your life. That's one of the ways that you keep your business personal. I'll post pictures of me and my dogs. I'll post pictures of just my dogs, and people love that stuff. I'll post pictures of what I'm doing and, what my family's been up to. And I think people really can connect with you. They'll see that you're a person and they'll make a connection because the more deeper the connection you can make with clients or with potential clients, the more likely they are to reach out to you because the more of a relationship you've built. And ultimately, that's what it comes down to, is building the relationship day over day, month over month, year over year. And finally, just like with a mortgage, where it takes years to pay it off, even if you're really trying to put extra towards it, it still takes years to pay it off. With your business, it can take years to really build it up to the point where it's the business that you want it to be. It can take years of reaching out to clients, of continuing to follow up and build those relationships for it to really build to the point that you're feeling like it's got that momentum that you're looking for. It takes time. There is no shortcut to this stuff. Sometimes you get lucky and you find that one client that just really gives you a lot, or you find a couple clients that just really give you a lot of work, and those come and sometimes then they go. But really, in order to build a sustainable business, it just takes time of doing the same thing day in and day out, day over day, month over month, year over year. I hope this has been helpful to you. Leave something in the comments if it has been, or if you have some other ideas about how to grow your business, go ahead and throw those in the comments too, and I'll hope to hear from you soon.